Today I'll be going with some another topics of your exception handling in Java. As just I wanted to instruct something over here. From today we are going to start up your offline as well as online classes. So for that sake, your college timing will be from 10 to 5 o'clock. Okay. So in the previous classes, you have discussed with so many things of your exception handling, where a program which enters into the abnormal form can be executed, been stopped at a normal form, and all the other things can be executed with different types of Java class exceptions. Then the different examples on arithmetic exception, null pointer exception, in string index out of bounds exception. Then moving with the file not found exception. Then going with number format exception. Lastly, array index out of bounds exception. These are the simple examples to know how actually the exceptions can be handled, catched, caught, or checked. Try block checks the exception, throws that exception to the catch will handle that one and gives the specific meaning for that one. So that is nothing but called as what? An exception handling. So last Saturday we have been learnt with the finally block, where when there are any another statements after try and catch block executes, if we wanted to execute any programming statements at that position, we are going to use with Java finally block. What it is going to do, once the program enters into the try and it executes with the catch statement, then other statements of the program will not be executed, because it is a rule. When it has been entered into try, it will be executing with only the catch statements, either then of any other statements will be there not executed. So to execute those all the statements or any important code, at that position you are going to use with the finally block. We have been went with some different cases also. So today we'll be going with the next one, that is Java throw keyword. What is the use of this particular throw statement? Okay, how this throw is going to be used and where actually that throw is going to be used, we shall see over here. Okay, so we will be having with the simple examples. We shall see the Java throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Explicitly means sending from one end to the other end. Implicitly means within the program, within the part. Explicitly means outside the code. Within the program, outside the code, we can say. That is called as explicitly. Okay. We can throw either checked or unchecked exception in a Java by throw keyword without making any sense of checking whether it is a checked or unchecked. Means whether it is in the form of compile time error, compile time exception, or runtime exception. We can throw that particular exceptions here. The throw keyword is mainly used to throw custom exception. We will see custom exceptions later. That the syntax of Java throw keyword is as follows. So you are going to have throw. What is an exception you are going to have? You will be having that one. Throw new IO exception. If you are going to have any problematical one through the input and output statements, at that time you are going to use with throw new, which is going to create an exception, and it will be saying that sorry, device error. IO exception means input and output statements. Either while taking or reading the informations, it is going to have a error, or when it is going to display any information back to you, you are going to have a error. So you are going to say that it is a device problem. So it will be saying that sorry, device problem is there. Okay. Then you are going to have with an example here. In this example, we have created the validate method that takes integer value as a parameter. If the age is lesser than 18, we are throwing the arithmetic exception, otherwise printing the message welcome to vote. Okay, so what this particular example is going to say here, you're going to have a test throw 1, static void validate. You're going to have a int age, and here you are not going to have any try or catch blocks. Is it right? Please think of it. You are not having any try or a catch blocks. Is it right? So when you are going to have here a public static void main you're going to have here. See, just check here, public static void main, which is going to execute a function called as validate. This value will be sent to static void validate int age. Age. This 13 will be sent over here. Then afterwards you are going to have it. If 13 is lesser than 18, yes, 100% it is there. Then ultimately it is going to say that not valid, means you are not eligible to vote. So I am going to generate an exception here. There is no any try and catch statements. Here you are directly going with what? Exceptions. Directly you are using the exception names. Over there, when you are using with the try and catch block, at that position what you are going to do? Try is going to check, catch is going to handle. But here what the throw is going to do? It is going to identify. You should have to define what type of error you are been generating. So you are going to write that exception name. That exception name will be defined and you are going to have a error over here. This you can see exception in a main thread, that Java exception not valid. So you have written here not valid, that is executed. So this is an exception you are going to be having and you are going to stop the things. And when you are stopped here, but here there is another set of statements, system.out.println of rest of code. Is it right? So how you are going to execute this one? Either you can write within a finally block, it is going to be executed, or if you don't want, you can leave that one there only. So what you can understand from this particular throw statement here, instead of defining or try and catch blocks, directly you can use with throw, which is going to define the direct statements of your exceptions, and directly it will be executed. That is the use of your throw statement within a Java programming. Then we can go for throws now, the Euler format. What it is going to do, we shall check now. The Java throws keyword is used to declare an exception. There just you are going to throw that one, but here you are going to make a declaration, means you are creating an exception here. It gives an information to the programmer that there may occur an exception, so it is better for a programmer to provide an exception handling code so that the normal flow can be maintained. So what this particular throws is going to say, it is going to give an information to the user. Sometime if when you are executing a program, at that particular position you can get an error, you are going to get an error or exception. So provide an exception handling mechanism over there, that you will be having a normal flow of execution. Exception handling is mainly used to handle the checked exceptions. Means when you are checked, once again you are going to work on that particular thing. We can call them as checked exceptions. Okay, so if there occurs any unchecked exception such as null pointer assignment, it is a programmer's fault that he is not performing check before the code being used. Okay, so what he is going to say, you are making a sense to the program whether the program is not going to arise with any exception or a problem. To avoid that one, we are going to use the throws. If a programmer makes or commits any mistake, then that is a fault of a programmer itself. That is nothing but yourself. So we shall check with a simple statement here. Public class test throws 1, void m throws exception. This is a where we are going to create an exception. So how it is going to be executed, we will come directly to public static void main string of args, and you are creating an object for a test throw 1 is equal to new test throw 1. Okay, so what it is going to do now, just it comes to the point, that is object p. Object p means this particular object will be calling now this statement here. It is there, void p. Within the void p, what you are going to have, try n. So it goes to the try n statement. Try n is going to do what now, throws an IO exception to the m. M is over here. Then what you are going to have here, with throws IO exception, throw new IO exception, device error. That is, you are checked with the exception, and exception is going to be caught over here within the IO exception, and catch will handle that one, and exception is handled. You are going to get an output here. Is it right? So here more than one functions are being thrown from one to the other to check whether the particular statements are going to be executed very correctly or not. So once again I am going to repeat you. Try test throws 1 obj is equal to new test throws 1 means it is creating an object of obj, and obj dot p is a function of your trace through. Is it right? So it comes over here. Within that one, within the try statement, what you are going to have? N function. It will move to the n function over here. Throws IO exception to the IO exception means if at the time of executing the function, if any error comes, it is going to stop. If no means directly it enters into the functional body. And here you are going to have m method. M method means it goes to there and throws IO exception. If at the time entering of the value or a device problem will be there, it is going to go for it. Otherwise, throw new exception. No new IO exception means this is checked now. You are having a problem that is sent to catch, and catch is going to be said that device error exception handled. So this is what meant by an throws means. You are making a sense within a program that we are going to check the problems before using the code or before executing the code. That is nothing but called as what? A throw and throws. Then we shall check with the different set of differences between throw and throws. Java throw keyword is used to explicitly throw an exception. Here Java throw keyword is used to throw the exception from one end to the other end, but here throws is used to declare an exception. Okay, that is the difference between this one. This is just throws, but it is going to declare, it is going to create, it is going to initiate. Okay, second one, checked exception cannot be propagated using throw only. Already checked or anything already executed, they could not be been used through throw, but in throws we can propagate that one. Propagate means can be sent from one end to the other end for next verification. Throw is followed by an instance, and here throws is followed by a class. It is going to be here throw is going to be with normal object variable values, and here it is going to be thrown by class variable values. Throw is used within the method. Throw is within used with the method signature. Both the same statements will be there. You can't throw multiple exceptions in throw, but here you can throw multiple exceptions without having any problem. Okay, throw is going to handle only single exception at one most of the level, but throws is going to handle more than one exception at the most level. So I am going to stop here itself the class. Rest other things we shall discuss in tomorrow's class.